This is how you deal with the feeling of not wanting anything. If you experience the feeling of not wanting anything, in this article we suggest some possible reasons and give some advice. When your mood is low and your body and mind are not in harmony, you may experience the feeling of not wanting anything. Everything weighs you down and exhausts you, and every task you have to do feels like climbing a mountain. While it is common for these feelings to occur occasionally and you usually regain motivation, a problem arises when the feeling of discomfort persists. Factors, such as stress, can lower motivation to a minimum. But there can also be other underlying physical and psychological reasons why you feel like you don't want to do anything. Indeed, depression and unhealed trauma often accompany such behavioral and emotional states. Understanding what makes you feel this way will help you figure out what you can do about it. Emotional exhaustion is often more debilitating than physical exhaustion. The feeling of not wanting anything. Everyone at one time or another experiences the feeling of not wanting anything. It's a frequent regret, and you've no doubt experienced it. We will clarify what the experience entails. Not wanting to do something suggests a psychophysical condition that goes beyond physical exhaustion, as emotional or mental exhaustion occurs. Usually these situations resolve themselves after a few days, when you've had a break or you've resolved what was troubling you. But they can become chronic over time. When a lack of motivation and feelings of discouragement and fatigue last more than 2 weeks, they may be symptoms of a health problem or a mental disorder. The following are characteristics that often accompany these sensations. Feelings of hopelessness, heaviness in the muscles, irritability and bad mood, difficulty reflecting, a tendency to procrastinate, no enthusiasm to start the day, feeling of exhaustion, lack of energy, lack of initiative and motivation, difficulty making decisions, need to sleep more than necessary, lack of interest in leisure or social activities, zero performance at work or in studies, anhedonia or the inability to experience pleasure. Why do you feel like you don't want to do anything? The feeling of not wanting to do anything becomes a problem when you have many obligations and do not have the opportunity to stop. Work, household duties, family and the goals you want to achieve in life require the movement and action. But sometimes your strength and encouragement fail. In these situations, you need to know what is behind your feelings. Health problems. Feelings of despondency, apathy, and fatigue are common in patients suffering from thyroid disease. An article published in the journal Frontiers in Physiology states that some women, as a result of negative experiences, develop changes in the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis. When faced with unmotivated and tired patients, professionals must rule out problems like these. But there are certain other factors to consider in the physiological field, e.g., migraine, fibromyalgia, hormonal changes, chronic fatigue syndrome, a weakened immune system, insomnia and other sleep disorders, poor diet and lack of nutrients, boredom and routine. At certain times, we all lack hope, motivation, exciting goals. Routine and boredom eat away at the brain. As humans, we need stimuli in our daily lives to get impulses to move, plan and follow our dreams and goals. When it fails, feelings of discomfort and discouragement arise. Chronic stress can cause the feeling of not wanting anything. Sometimes, you may overlook the effect that unregulated and overwhelming stress has on your physical and mental health. A study published in the journal Future Science states that the activation of certain neuroendocrine circuits can alter several processes affecting the immune system, cardiovascular health, etc. As much as possible, You should try to recognize that these states of worry, tension and anxiety only occur occasionally and do not last too long. Try to use appropriate strategies to deal with them. The weight of unresolved issues. You tend not to want to do anything when you have too many problems and don't know how to deal with them. For example, disagreements in your relationship can be combined with a lack of work or poor working conditions. Along with this comes frustration due to your unfulfilled dreams, the lack of time for yourself, the constant shadow of uncertainty. In fact, sometimes life is too complicated and your mind uses the defense mechanism to tell you to stop. Therefore, the feeling of tiredness is just a warning sign that you need time to think and make some decisions. Exhaustion is a sign of depressive disorders. Fatigue and lack of motivation are two recurring characteristics of depressive disorders. Research published in the journal Frontiers in Immunology explains that it is common for depression to occur in conjunction with an inflammatory activation of the immune system that affects the central nervous system. This explains the feeling of heaviness, muscle pain and exhaustion that does not go away, even if you have slept for 10 hours straight. There are also several criteria that tell you if you are facing a depressive disorder, e.g., feelings of hopelessness, low self-esteem, sleep disturbances, negative thoughts, suicidal thoughts, changes in eating patterns, inability to solve problems, anhedonia or inability to feel pleasure. When you don't feel like doing anything, it's helpful to give yourself a few days of rest and relaxation. Artistic techniques such as painting or writing are redemptive. Unprocessed trauma. Most of us experience trauma at one time or another. It could be a loss, an emotional breakdown, an accident, an assault, or witnessing a violent event, to name just a few. As a rule, one can overcome these incidents. You don't forget them, but you learn to live with the memories of them without them weighing you down too much. But some people cannot forget, especially if the traumatic experience happened in their childhood. This is because children have fewer resources to deal with it. It is important to know that the neurobiological mechanisms of trauma are deep and devastating, affecting both mind and body. One example is highlighted in a study published in the Archives of General Psychiatry. It claims that childhood trauma increases the risk of developing chronic fatigue syndrome. How to deal with your lack of energy and motivation. If you felt like you haven't felt like doing anything for a long time, it's best to start with a medical checkup. The first step is to rule out any medical problems. If there are no health-related causes, such as a thyroid disorder, make some changes to regain your energy and well-being. To initiate such a change, you must begin to make a commitment to yourself. You often tend to put others first, but now is the time to practice self-care. Try the following. Set yourself new goals and objectives. Learn problem-solving techniques. Learn relaxation techniques and deep breathing. Integrate stress management resources into your daily routine. Improve your mental focus and rationalize your negative thoughts. Plan your routines so that you have several hours of free time. Make small changes in your life. Register e.g. a course and meet new people. Enjoy art therapy. Painting and writing are wonderful redemptive exercises. Be aware of the activities or people that give you more stress than well-being. Give yourself time to rest and disconnect. It's time to listen to yourself and figure out what you want in your life. The use behavioral activation. Even if your mind tells you that you don't feel like doing anything, get moving and go for a walk. When your body gets going, your mind often changes. The best psychological therapies to treat the feeling of not wanting anything. If your feelings of discouragement and lack of energy persist, seek expert help. The following therapeutic models can help. A solution-focused strategic short-term therapy allows you to identify what is happening to you. Then you can improve your strengths and achieve new goals. It is a really effective therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy. It is the most widely used approach and the form supported by the greatest body of scientific evidence. It helps you work through your negative thoughts and limiting beliefs and integrate healthier behaviors. Acceptance and commitment therapy. This model helps you understand that life is not easy, that adversity exists and that you must accept it. In return, it provides tools to clarify your values and give you the opportunity to move forward. In conclusion, don't hesitate to ask for professional support if this depressing and empty feeling starts to blur who you are. After all, you deserve to enjoy your life and be an active person who is able to fight for what you want in the life as you deserve.